New sim racing games are on the horizon, my friends. And today I tell you all about the 5 most thrilling releases still happening this year or in 2024. With among others the new Rally Hope, the most beautiful racing game ever to glance a PC, as well as the spiritual successor to the Project Cars series. And with that, welcome back to Overtake.gg. My name is Champion Joe, and I have to say, we live in exciting times. At least when it's about sim racing, that is. Because we are truly being blessed with an abundance of new sim racing games coming out in the next couple of months. One of the most anticipated by the lot must be the new hope of the rally game genre, a new title by the Dirt series developers Codemasters, which got swallowed by EA Sports that just recently acquired the WRC license. And that game is now on the horizon, plainly called WRC. Unreal Engine graphics, the well-renowned and for WRC overhauled dirt rally driving physics, and an experimental approach to the career mode where the game will let you build your own car has fans of the rally genre at their toes. With cars from all current WRC competitions and legacy cars and stages, EA Sports WRC seems to be packed with content. And the best part of it, it's available for only €50 in the standard edition. Oh, and it's already being released in a couple of weeks on the 3rd of November. The only downer really is that there won't be any VR support at launch and no VR support even down the line for the PlayStation VR. How do you think about that? Is that a deal breaker for you? Let me know in the comments down below. I personally very much look forward to Cody's return to the rally genre, if only for the visual power they provide with their first trailer. It's absolutely gorgeous and I can't wait to get my hands on it really soon. EA Sports WRC will release on PS5, the Xbox Series X and S, as well as on PC via the EA app, the Epic Store, and on Steam on the 3rd of November. And if you like this list, leave a like on this video, subscribe to Overtake and ring the bell so you never miss any of our videos. The next game on my list will most likely be controversially debated in the comments whether it even counts as a sim racing game. But I don't care, I'm really stoked about the new Forza Motorsport. Will it have the most realistic driving physics ever? Most likely not, but developer Turn 10 took a lot of interesting steps to make the new Forza a skill-based racing game rather than over-the-top fun like their sister series Horizon. With 8 physical calculated contact points per tire and the 360Hz refresh rate, FM is set to up the realism by quite a bit. Of course, you shouldn't go into the release expecting iRacing or ACC fidelity, but still it seems to be that Turn 10 is really trying to give us a competitive racing environment here. This game will have rotating ranked series and special events, an ELO-based skill rating and safety rating, as well as an AI-powered race stewarding system that automatically awards penalties after track cuts and race incidents. There's already a lot of information flowing around this title, and I myself already made a video about all features that may be of interest to sim racers in the past. You can check that one out, now linked in the top right. Overall, I'm just super stoked to find out how well it handles on a steering wheel. Because if that's half decent, I think this game has a lot of potential. The career mode seems fun and engaging with some RPG elements. The online mode will have tons of players, a well thought through ranking system, and the visuals count among the best we have ever seen in a racing game as a whole. And yeah, I know there are some old models from FM7 in this, but you can't tell me that the foliage and the lighting aren't absolutely gorgeous and that there's nothing within you that is at least looking forward to Forza Motorsport's release at least a little. And we won't have to wait for much longer. The game is set to be released on the 10th of October, releasing on Xbox Series and the PC. Next on my list of sim racing games that will see the light of day rather sooner than later is the German-developed Rennsport. Rennsport will be an Unreal Engine powered, multi-content featuring simulation that focuses heavily on online multiplayer. For a fact, the game is playable for over a year now, as the devs took a completely fresh approach and introduced the game super early to a select crowd of content creators and esports drivers. Every step they took since was thereby influenced by the feedback of the best in the biz and has shaped it into what it is now. I also played The Sim quite a bit already, and I would say I have mixed feelings when it comes to the car behavior on track. But this game is still in development and only in a closed beta right now, so there's still tons of time for developer competition company to iron things out. At the moment, The Sim is GT3 centered, with big esports competitions held, featuring some of the best drivers in the world in the ESL R1. But they already showcased new cars like the Praga R1, hinted at touring and hypercars, and they also introduced modding support that will open up Rennsport for infinite possibilities. So you see, Rennsport still has a lot of question marks surrounding it, and we need to be a little bit more patient until we ultimately can say if the game's gonna be a success or not. So let's keep our fingers crossed that The Sim without a release date will catch the curve and find some traction to accelerate in a bright future on PC. This next game I've already talked a lot about just the other week, and I must say probably one of my most hyped games at the moment. This is Le Mans Ultimate, a new IP from Studio 397, the makers of rFactor 2. It's an officially licensed WEC game featuring all the new Le Mans hypercars from Porsche, Peugeot to the Le Mans winning Ferrari. Of course, the LMP2 classes as well as the GTE class are also confirmed, with legacy content already being hinted at. All tracks will be laser scanned, and the handling model supposedly is an updated version of rFactor 2's game engine. So what we essentially are getting here is a streamlined, focused version of rFactor 2 that hopefully translates the 10-year-old game into modern times. Everyone who knows me knows that I'm not the biggest fan of rFactor 2, which is largely due to its user unfriendliness. Loading times are awful, it's way too complicated to calibrate your gear, the game's UI is from yesteryear, and I mean the updated one, and why one has to start from the parking lot instead of a real garage is still a mystery to me. But Studio 397 has the opportunity now to do better and to combine modern game design with the great driving physics they always had. Also, the way they want to approach endurance racing and make it less time consuming for everyone is really appealing to me. If you want to find out more about that, I have my latest video about Le Mans Ultimate attached in the top right. But of course, there's the elephant in the room, that this game is being financed by Studio 397's publisher Motorsport Games, that are going through a rough patch recently, with many sources speculating that the operation might have to shut down soon. So it's kinda unsure whether Le Mans Ultimate will even see the light of day, although the release is not far off, with The Sim being scheduled for a PC release at the end of the year in Q4. Do you still remember the good old days where GTR2 was the main game of the scene? Me neither. But many love the series, which is why a spiritual successor is in the making right now. GT Revival. And it's not only a spiritual successor to the GTR series, no, it's in development by Ian Bell's new team Straight 4 Games, which also makes it a descendant of the Project Cars series. So far there are a few screenshots floating around about the sim on Ian's Twitter, and of course many newsletters where Straight 4 Games gives some insight about the development and the team. It's way too early to say how good GT Revival will be, but the vision and the first screens do look promising. What we know so far is that Straight 4 is planning to implement modern GT3 racing, Group C cars as well as GT1s. Have they just recently announced a partnership with Lister to bring back the iconic Lister Storm from the early 2000s. It seems that they also put heavy emphasis on the AI development, researching possibilities to use AI to have automated commentary on races.
2 laps on the board today. Quick little demo race around Long Beach, California in the Cadillac DPI VR. These cars put out around 650 horsepower to the rear tires. No hybrid boost, just all-American V8 under the bonnet.
And to be able to talk to your race engineer to find the right setup tweaks in an organic dialogue.
These really low-speed hairpins in the infield, I hate having to roll on the throttle the way you do in this car. It just feels really nervous. You got a fix for that?
Inside the differential settings, you're currently at 60 power and 30 coast. If you want a really lazy rear end out of the corner, you could try 15 power, 75 coast, and maybe a bit of preload. reload.
Early scenes from this tech are hosted in AMS2 and Project Cars and easily could be staged, but nonetheless, when true, this could revolutionize sim racing as a whole and could introduce features you wouldn't want to miss in the future. But as many of you might have already written in the comments, Ian Bell's reputation of promising much and delivering little leaves a bit of a sour taste. We haven't seen gameplay so far and there are no independent thoughts on GT Revival, which means we just need to be a little bit more patient before we all jump on the hype train. There's no release day yet, and whether this game will be released on consoles remains to be seen. And there are even more hype games that will come out in 2024 and beyond, and for that we put a little list together on our homepage, which you can find attached in the first pinned comment underneath this video. What are the titles you're most looking forward to? Let me know in the comments. And if you need more intel on Le Mans Ultimate, check out my last video where I discussed the latest news on it. But that's it from me today. Thank you so much for tuning in and see you next time around. Cheers!